Alright, hey everybody. Let me get that properly set up. Camera. That good? No? Hopefully y'all can hear me too. Pull that down. Thought we would start a little earlier than what my 5-minute countdown had, because I had everything ready to go. So, how are you doing? It has been a little while. Gosh, so much has happened. So many different things. You know, today's Friday. Well, if you're on this side of the world, it's Friday. If you're also in North America, you may be experiencing some pretty intense weather, whether it's freezing or storms or whatever the case may be. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not going to be your meteorologist today, but this is kind of what we've been experiencing, at least in Texas. It was 20 degrees last night, so I am super happy to see the sun right now. And it's actually because like the mix of the heater and like the weird temp waves, it's hot in here. So I've had my fan on and I have my window open. So it's rather funny, to say the least. So, you know, today we are going to kind of dive into some of the bigger things that are going on with Smunchy Games. All good things, which is funny to say it that way, but it is true. I feel like Olaf, you know, and obviously none of this has been rehearsed. This is, as you all know me, I always do an off-the-cuff type of like ad hoc live stream, right? You know, and I imagine others will start like flowing in as we go. And you know, this year I'm hoping to get a little bit better at than just doing these ad hoc streams. But as you all know, my time is very limited. So when I do get the free time like I did today, I'm like, I'm on it. Let's go and do this. And I think it's important to talk about all the things we got coming up. So there's a lot of different like a little, you know, announcements. You may have seen the starting screen, right, where that said Smunchy Games and Grave Titan Games. You may have seen that. You've heard me talk about that for a long time. Grave Titan Games is our dark fiction subsidiary, our side of the house for publishing dark fiction types of games. You know, in my case, I go for more zany dark fiction, but that's not to say you're not going to have some serious stuff in there too. So, first things first, there was a tweet I put out a little while ago, and it was this one. And you could see that there's like a lot of things happening right now. What you see here on the screen, is just this year. And I have Restream open, so I think I can see the chat properly. Yes, I can. And there's a lot happening between 2022 and 2023. You know, I imagine most of the folks who are super in tune to what we're doing may end up watching this VOD later on, just to catch up and figure out what's happening. But as you can see, Parslings has a new title coming out for it, our new book, essentially. Don't have any official dates for you yet, but I can tell you the announcement for those official dates will be much sooner rather than later. Literally, you will see the announcement for Parslings probably within the next few weeks. So keep in mind those dates. You know, we're still trying to get some like things lined up and figure out what exactly those dates will mean. And there was a little bit of a wrench thrown into our plans because, well, not just COVID and all that other crazy stuff that's been happening, but you know, we initially had hoped to launch on GameFound. That's probably not going to be the case. We may have to launch on Kickstarter. So, you know, just making everyone aware of that, to keep an eye out for that. That's the plan. And we'll kind of go from there. Crowdfunding has been a very interesting time as of lately. So there's a lot of different and unique things that are happening within our industry, um, all over the board. So, um, all that to say, that is kind of what's going on. Keep an eye out for parselings. There's some really, really cool stuff, uh, you know, showing up in the parceling space. And as all of you know, retail did start happening, and fulfillment. So we are at the end of fulfillment for parcelings right now, for the first core rulebook, as well as Infra Memorial Station, and the pins and the decks and all the fun things that came with that too. So we're at the very end of it. Europe is just now about to finish fulfillment or processing, and then go into fulfillment, because I know that there's many few who have already received their emails from V Games, and I know that Australia already finished, so Aetherworks, they've already sent everything out. I think there's a couple still out there, but pretty much everyone has gotten all of what they needed from that. And then Europe, and then we have a couple of late orders that came in that we're fulfilling, as well as some orders that had address changes at the last minute. So we're still working on all that. But that's, I guess, really, it's been a journey, and we're kind of wrapping that up. So it's pretty cool to see, to be honest with you. There's so much that I could talk about when it comes to the shipping and logistics side now. Like, at least in tabletop. I mean, I've always been a part of it, because I've always been somehow participating in, like, retail or other types of goods and services that were a part of that type of chain. But tabletop in particular is probably one of the most interesting ones, I think. Especially because tabletop is such a small industry, and how you have to move things around and shape things is pretty fascinating, to say the least. So, I'm actually going to open up Twitch real quick, because my restream's kind of acting weird. Just because I keep on having to, like, tap the screen to see chat, and I'm on my phone, but with Twitch I don't have to do that. I think it's because it's, like, the app thing versus not app. Anyway. Let me find it, because I do want to chat with y'all. I want to just be talking into a void. Here we go. Is that it? Yes, that is it. Okay, good. Alright, great. I'll just mute that. Apologize if you hear, like, any planes in the background. Again, I'm not used to streaming, like, midday, so at least not during the weekday. If that makes sense. Hey, Taylor, welcome. Welcome. Or Teddy Berserker in chat. So that's the parcelings discussion again. Keep an ear out for that. New announcements coming. We are in, like I said, we are in retail though, so this isn't like, parcelings is no longer like just a small little game. Parcelings has sold out in so many different retail stores. It's definitely starting to catch like fire. We've had so many pre-order requests for parcelings that I can't even fulfill and print them all right now, just to give you an idea. So COVID has sort of made that hard, but because there are so many requests, that's actually a good problem to have. They're even talking about possibly bringing parcelings into a big box form. So who knows where it's going to go? Oh, hey, Marine. Welcome. That's all good, man. You're good. Just kind of sharing updates and all that before I get into a lot of the other things. So, we'll come back to parcelings if anyone has questions about it. But yeah, we're kind of at the end of the road for the last campaign, and we're starting a new road soon. So, that's exciting. The next one has me also super jazzed because it's Path's World of Adia. And holy cow. It's been going on for 7 years, and we're finally going to release it. Yeah. So, hopefully everyone, watching and listening and has been following along on this really, really long adventure, it will be released by the end of this year. Now, we are hoping to bring it to Kickstarter. That's the end goal. Kickstarter, October 4th, 2022. That's the date we've set. Again, crowdfunding has been kind of weird lately. So we don't know if and how that will happen. What we do know for sure is that the release is going to happen. So if you are wanting Pat's World of Edea, like you really want the game, you want the books, yes, books with an S, and you want all the other cool things that are coming with it, definitely stay tuned, because this release is not only going to hit pre-order fast, it's also going to hit retail fast. So we plan to ship this out to retail no matter what. Now, of course, if, assuming the Kickstarters and all the crowdfunding pieces go through well, then we'll do that first. That's kind of the end goal, really, is we want to make sure that people get the opportunity to be a part of it early. That's what we really want. But that's not to say there's not a demand. There's absolutely a demand, and Edea will be on 5th edition, D&D 5th edition, and it will be on the Path system, our system that we created. So if you are someone who likes learning new systems, and you are someone who enjoys that type of thing, you can learn the Path system, and play that with your friends, if your friends are also interested in that too. But if you are someone who is, hey, I don't have time to learn a new system, I don't have time for those things, then D&D 5th edition, we've got that. We've got you covered there too. I think the biggest difference is, and I'll be very transparent with y'all, is that the Path system is, I wouldn't call it a super crunchy system, but there's some crunch to it. So it's not like, I wouldn't compare it to like Pathfinder 2nd edition and that type of crunch, but I would say it kind of has a good balance, even keel, so it's kind of like 5th edition in that way. So, yeah, again, it just depends on what you like and what you prefer, but just note that those exist. And both are great. I can tell you that the books, so again, this is what I was trying to be honest with you about. The Path system is going to have 3 books, 3 core books, straight out of the gate. So essentially, you're going to have the core rulebook. You're going to have the player guide, which I forgot. We actually have a different name for it. It's like Player Paths Guide. And then you're going to have the spell book. That's how much is from the Path system is in those 3 books. Now, if you play D&D 5th edition, it's only going to be 1 book. It might be a little bit larger than we had originally intended, but that's not a bad thing. It could also be smaller. It kind of just depends on how that's going to shake out, because we're transitioning everything right now. Or translating, not transitioning, because it's still both the same. But it's super important to note, and again, it's going to hit retail, like 5th edition, third party, Path system. Yeah, so we know that for sure. So in other words, what I'm saying is we know it's going to release no matter what stands in our way at this point. So be ready for that. But most importantly, if you do want it, now is going to be the time. Like, start paying attention to all the announcements, and because as we go through this, our distributors are all like, they're already pounding on our door for Parslings and now Paths. So if you want your copy, please pay attention sooner rather than later, and we'll get that lined up for you. So whether through Kickstarter, of course, or like a pre-order system that we set up, or anything like that. And we'll come back to that if there's questions about Edea. And then Naltulth. So this is one that I imagine we're going to talk a lot about today. So right now this is just like a cover base. Naltulth is currently active on pre-order, so you can get that through the pre-order store, which I guess I can get a link handy for y'all. Do I still have Twitch up? I think I have it up somewhere. Oh, here, you know what? This will just work. Here you go. So use that link there. That'll get you to here, this page. And you will get to see all of the cool things we're doing for Now Toolth here that you can order. You can also, of course, always go to the Kickstarter. There's a lot of fun things there as well that's happening. So, there we go. Now, oops, what the heck? Stop it. Stop. Uh-oh. Hold on. My thing exploded. There we go. We're good now. Alright. So as you can see, you'll have the physical book. It's a physical hardcover copy. This is $5 off because it's late pledge, and if you did back the Kickstarter, you got like $10 off. So thank you for all the backers who helped us create this. Your support does not go unnoticed by any means. We are so thankful for that, and you know, now is kind of like the last time to get this discount, because as we move into retail, again, that's going to be a thing. Now Toolth is going to retail. So Now Toolth Candlehurst, it is starting off as Pathfinder 2nd Edition. That's how we had launched it on the Kickstarter, and we're going to fulfill it that way. However, in the next year time, so closer to the end of this year, we will be translating it to 5th edition as well, D&D 5th edition. But those books for 5th edition will not be available until all of this is fulfilled first. And we're doing that on purpose because we wanted to support the Pathfinder 2nd edition community first, and so that's how we're doing it. Oh. Sorry, I got a pain going on in my neck or ear or something like that. I think it's the air circulation, you know, in the air. Anyway, okay. So that's kind of what we wanted to do first. Pathfinder 2nd edition, it'll come out compatibility, and then from there we'll move into D&D 5th edition for Now Toolth. There is right now a one-shot available, so Attack on the Blisterwind Road. Teddy Berserker is actually in chat for anyone who has questions about that. I can tell you we're still pretty early on. We have outlines and all those things coming up. We kind of already have things set up, but questions on that or anything like lore-wise from Now Toolth, you know, we've been, myself, Marine, and Taylor here have been doing a lot of hard work on this. So everything from game mechanics and testing to development to writing to brainstorming to thought process and other things we're going to bring you later on. So there was an episode that I had done on Twitch a while ago talking about the new books that are coming up. So maybe we'll dig into that as well a little bit. Okay, Marine, sounds good. So expect that. You know, Now Toolth has kind of caught fire in the best of ways. Darkspire fire? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Dark Flame? Yeah. it's caught Dark Flame. So that it's really cool to see, though, for sure. And then I can tell you that once we have done, so in order, this is kind of the process. It's going to go Now Toolth Candlehurst Pathfinder 2nd edition compatibility, and we will ship that out to all backers. And then once that is complete, the translation into 5th edition, we will create a 5th edition book, and we plan to have another Kickstarter for Now Toolth, but for the next books on top of the 5th edition copy. You may even be able to get the 2nd edition copy as well, assuming that we will have either extra copies or we'll do a second print run. So that's pretty important, but you'll always be able to get the digital copy. So that's kind of the cool thing. Teddy Berserker says, I know the secrets of the deep lore, ask me whatever. Oh, right. That reminds me, right? Like, we actually also just shared these peoples are Werekraken, the Raltoran. So now we shared them on Kickstarter, like, through writing, but no one had seen any visual art. So you can kind of see, like, they have a human form, like that's their natural form, but that's not to also say other people, other ancestries cannot be Werekraken. So that's something to think about too. So the Werekraken are definitely one of our babies, is kind of the best way to describe that, just like the Tuskar is for Adia. I have a feeling the Werekraken are going to be like one of the coolest things we've created for Naltulth, just to be honest with y'all. Right, they released the Werekraken. Yep. And that's exactly. Now, the cool thing here is, though, I kind of gave y'all an Easter egg sneak peek at something, and I know people have noticed it, but not too much has been commented on, so I'm going to share it with you now. What you're looking at here, you're actually looking at some of the borders. These are the two borders that you're going to see in the Attack on Blisterwind Road one-shot book. You're going to see these borders in there. So the left-hand side is a deity by the name of Hugaroth, and the other one is, you could translate it as Naltulth and Candlehurst. You could translate it as another place we have on the map called Graven Rock. Kind of just depends on what you would like to translate it as, and we kind of left that open. But these are important things to note, so happy Easter egg hunting. So there you go. Werekraken. That's right, that's what we do. Werekraken it up. Werekraken? Oh, geez. That sounds like a pun that I did not even meant to make happen, but it happened. So there's that. So let's go back to this. There are some other really great and super cool things that we're doing with the votaries and the candlers, and those backgrounds are so dang cool. I'm so excited to see and just how they form. I'm excited to see more of the Darkmeld Goblin stuff that we have coming up. There's so many... Man, Naltulth has quickly become one of my favorite worlds that we've created. There's just something about it that's hitting a really super wicked awesome note for me. I don't know about y'all, but man, between the Crypt Knights, I mean, heck, you can even see like the undead hands kind of coming out of the tomb shield. But just there's something about it. And then, of course, we have some pretty cool surprises in the next books coming up. So the way that, so finishing out that process, because I started it but I never actually finished talking about it, we will work on the next set of books next year. Well, actually, it's part of this year, but next year as well. So like things will go into development around that time, even though they've kind of already, we kind of jump started a little bit. And that's because we needed to set some things up lore-wise, so we have, you know, a seamless transition into the next books. I can't wait to share those with you. We can't yet, but I can tell you, the more you stay tuned with what we're doing, the more you're going to see. And I can definitely tell you there are going to be some new ancestries, some new heritages, some new backgrounds, some new types of archetypes, right? All those fun things are going to be coming. And of course, naturally, creatures. So the last point I'll touch on Naltulth is we're going to have a message, because we're in February now. We have some messages going out to those who are doing Craft a Creature. And those of you who have pledged that tier level, expect me, personally me, contacting you to talk about Craft a Creature. And I kind of want to know what you're doing. There's some really cool ones I've seen out there, like kind of like abominable type of snowmen, snow people, I guess, really, folks, like Yetis, right? I've seen those type of creatures and like how it can like coexist across. I've seen some like prehistoric snow creatures, like dinosaurs almost, so that's been interesting to hear about. And I've also heard about like these massive like Thunderbird type of things, like, you know, kind of some like Raven thing going on. I don't know, there's a lot of sweet, awesome things happening there. So let me take a look in chat, because I don't want to ignore y'all here. I apologize if I have. No, okay, good. Great. So that's Naltulth. Now you're seeing a familiar sight here. We're moving into Frey. So I haven't talked about Frey in the last 2 years, and that's because we've been, you know, kind of keeping Frey, I don't want to call it dormant, but we've been kind of waiting for Path's World of Adia, to be honest with you. Because Frey was initially meant and created to be played within the RPG Path's World of Adia. But we wanted to launch it ahead of time. And we were like, hey, people would really love this because it's such a fun little game to play. And sure enough, we were right. And people are still, like, there's still a ton of copies behind me, and I still ship out at least two or so copies every now and again. But to be honest with you, I haven't really been able to market that. And what's happening now is Frey is coming back into the fold. And coming back into the picture, really. Because Adia is finished. At least the first initial release is finished. It'll never truly be finished. Like the actual game. But in this case, Frey, you will be able to get Frey in the new Kickstarter coming up for Path's World of Adia. Or however that release is really going to happen. So if you want Frey, and we do have a new set that is being worked on. So there is a new set and a new expansion that's happening for Frey. Actually, a couple of new ones. But we'll have a new one released there. And between now and then. And then also you can get the core set or Tasserdan. So you'll be able to get the Tasserdan one. And that's actually really important to note too, because I know people who are still playing the Pocket game, and they ask us every now and again, where's Frey? What can I learn more about Frey? How can I get Frey? Because our store has been down too. You may have noticed that as well, and that's on purpose because we do have a lot of retail knocking on our door. So we're trying to encourage folks to go through retail means, just because we still believe in the small stores as well. That's kind of a big thing. They still kind of help set those feelings of fun. So, encouraging that. So expect more to hear more about Frey. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask too. And then, last but not least, this is a new one. This is brand new. Y'all have heard us talk about the other four for like ever: Parslings, Path's World of Adia, Neltulth, Frey. Well, I can finally talk about this. So, Grave Titan Games has been doing a lot of, like, things behind the scenes lately. And the thing with publishing companies is that it takes a while to set them up. More importantly, any business and company, it takes a while to set up. And Grave Titan Games is finally getting to a spot where I can comfortably say we are going to release a new title between now and the end of 2023. It is going to be 5th edition, so again, focusing on some D&D here. But as you can see, it's very zany, odd, and wacky. It's very different than like some of our other stuff. I think maybe the closest thing that comes to even like art-wise is like Parslings. But Parslings is still very serious. It is definitely not it's definitely not what you see here. So the first thing we're going to do, and we're going to introduce you into this world of things, is going to be Ghostly Oddities. And what you kind of see at the bottom here, this glimpse of these different people and this person holding this like orb-looking thing that says Ghostly Oddities in it, and a little gloomlin pointing to the top because there's like some kind of ghostly thing happening. You're going to see them a lot in Grave Titan. They're pretty much like so like Smunchy Games has the Uwakun, which is from Adia. That's like literally the Smunchy Games logo. This logo right here, it's an Uwakun mask. In Grave Titan Games, you're going to see a ton of the Storyteller, who is the guy holding the orb, and the Gloomlins, which are, you see here, he's kind of like pulling on the Storyteller's like vest shirt thing, his hooded cloak, pulling on that and like pointing up, and then you can kind of see these are also Gloomlins. This is like in their small tiny world of using butter guns and riding chickens and, crafting a macaroni and cheese monster, but they didn't have macaroni, so it was tortellini instead. And it's tortellini and cheese monster, and it was ghostly possessed, and now they're having to like fight it. This guy's like, it's close, I can smell it. It's very, very off the wall, very silly. Anything we are going to be putting out for Grave Titan is either going to fall into this category, which it's like super zany and silly and weird, or it's going to be extremely serious and kind of kind of really dark. So you're just not gonna have a balance there. That's just what it's gonna be. Marine says, I'm back, and I just noticed you are streaming under Halo Infinite. I am? It's happening. I'm streaming under Halo Infinite? No way. It said I wasn't. It still says I'm not. That's strange. Well, let me go to Twitch and fix this. Streaming under Halo Infinite, how? I am, you're right, what? Let's change this. Hang on, y'all. Apologize if this gets echoey or loud, but I can't have that, because that's not how I had set this up. Channel. Let's change this. That's wrong. There you go. Done. Alright. Thank you. Cool. Let's get back to that now that we've changed it. It is happening, yes. So what Marine said is true. There's a lot, like I said, going on. So Ghostly Oddities, though, will be the first thing we release. Now, what is Ghostly Oddities? So this is us slowly introducing people to this really odd world. And right now, I am kind of currently calling it Project Enarl, which stands for Everybody Needs a Rocket Launcher. And you're just like, what? And that's the point. But I can tell you in Ghostly Oddities, it's going to consist of a lot of different, like, ghostly and just weird, silly creatures, as well as a lot of odd and strange items and other things that you can use in 5th edition. And then the other thing here, so you're going to have Marine, who's in chat right now, going to be doing mechanic work for it. And so if you have any questions about, like, the strange, odd, silly mechanics, you can ask Marine. And then we have Teddy Berserker here, who's actually going to be helping me write. And Sean, who is... Sean? Something like that. I'm Sean. Another writer, say that, who's going to be involved at some point. So, and then you have myself, who's also Sean, or known as Smunchy, that will be drawing this. So this is actually my artwork. I'm the illustrator. I'll be doing some writing as well and some other fun things, but mostly I'm going to be illustrating this book. I'm going to be illustrating anything else that comes out of the Project Enarl. So, thank you for the follow. There's Shibby. Thanks, man. Teddy says, I really channel my emo punk Invader Zim days with this one. Oh, cool, yeah, so they will join us. That's great. Let me look at my browser real quick just to make sure, because I know we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube as well. So I haven't seen anything else come in there. There we go. Shibby asks, tabletop games. Yes, tabletop. Oops. Oh, there we go. That worked. Yeah. So tabletop games for sure. This is all tabletop related. Video games. We're getting close, but not there yet. So, although to be fair, tabletop is enough work as it is. So that's kind of what's going on here. Again, if y'all have any questions, so I'm going to kind of show you some things now too. Before I do that, and this is what I also want to share with y'all, and that's why I don't even have it pulled up yet, because I just want to show you this. So, we have another thing happening. And while we kind of soft launched this, I don't think everyone actually knows about this yet. And it took me about a month and a half to really set this up. And there are folks and members right now that are even in the chat. Shibby is one of our content creators for this. And Lag Spike is it's one of our... It's our game org. So, Something I used to do way back in the day is I actually used to play games professionally, video games specifically. And some of those games were Halo 2, Counter-Strike, the World of Warcraft, etc., etc. And I am officially getting back into that. So what I've done, instead of going and joining an old team of mine that I used to be a part of, multiple teams, we're creating our own game org, and it's called Lag Spike. And the 4 games that we're focused on, I don't have the 4th one up here, but you can kind of see it in this image, is Halo Infinite, Call of Duty Vanguard, Fortnite, and Valorant. The reason why I'm sharing this with y'all is because Smunchy Games is a sponsor of Lag Spike. So there is that sponsorship happening. You do end up you'll end up seeing that a lot, and actually we'll share more of that up here. So as you can kind of see, join the Discord. There's already people on there. There's already people playing. We have an ARC server that's already started. It's already moving. I think Marine's even playing on it right now as we speak. And then we have a few other things that are going on too. So I can tell you that tournaments are going to be a thing if you are interested in that type of gameplay, competitive gameplay. But there's also content creation too. So expect to see more of Lag Spike, and if you have questions, please let me know. LagSpikeGameorg.com is where you can go and join us, or if you're just a fan and you just want to play games and hang out, that's cool too. But yeah, we're already starting to prepare for semi-pro tournaments, minor league tournaments, and getting back into the content stream. Shibby says, and yeah, I was talking to you on Facebook, but you weren't answering. Yeah, Facebook isn't showing for some reason on my restream, and I don't know why. Twitch is, though. Twitch is showing. But yeah, Facebook is struggling at the moment. Shibby then asks, how can I pledge? So, it's going to depend on what happens here, because if it's going to be Kickstarter, you'll be able to go to Kickstarter directly, and when Kickstarter shows up, you can that Kickstarter you can pledge to it. This is the Naltulth one. You can even go here right now if you want Naltulth, but if you want any of the other ones, it'll either be on Kickstarter, or we'll do something on GameFound, or some other kind of tool, or we may even just hold a private pre-order. That's another thing that we're kicking around right now, and that private pre-order will be here on Smunchy Games. So if you notice, we don't have the store officially, like, you're not able to really purchase here. Like, we have these things available, but we'll actually have pre-orders for that. So smunchygames.shop is where you'd want to go for that as well. But all that information will be coming sooner rather than later. But right now, nothing's official as of yet. Marine says, I'm not sure the exact details, but you should be able to do it here. Yep, if you want Naltool, go there to that link that Marine just put in the chat for the pre-order here. So, and I can tell you, as far as Naltool goes, we are going to only have it open until the end of end of February. After that, I'm closing it down, the pre-order shop. So, if you want Naltool and you want to be the first one in to get the Pathfinder 2nd Edition book, now's the time. If you want to wait and you would rather get it later, there will be another opportunity later. So this isn't like oh, you have to have it, you have to get it now. Or if you want to wait for the 5th edition version, Dnd 5th Edition, you can wait for that too. But I can tell you that this book is going to have a lot of the high quality to it, because this is going through the same manufacturer we went through for Parslings. And if you got the Parslings book, you know how crazy high quality that book was. That's going to be the same thing for this one. So, super, super important on there. But anyway, let's see here. Where's my Twitter? There it is. Okay, so going back to this. So these are the 4 things that are happening. That's a lot, right? Like, I've already been streaming for the last 35 minutes, or 40 minutes, and all we've been doing is talking about the announcements. That's not to say there's not more coming too. Like, We're finally hitting a stride with Smunchy Games and Grave Titan, because Grave Titan now is officially spinning up. Ghostly Oddities, that is on track for release, or on schedule to release. And with Smunchy Games, we have, I can tell you, in development right now, we have more Parslings things that I can't share. We have at least another 2 or 3 Paths World of Adia books outside of just before this stuff right now we even launch. And then Naltulth, we already have another 6 books planned. For Frey, we have another 5 expansions planned. And then for Ghostly Oddities for for Project Enarl, it's endless. There's going to be tons of different zines and all that fun stuff. So, and that's just for these titles, right? Smunchy Games has finally grown to a point where retail is just a regular thing now. It's just normal. I'll wake up in the morning, because like Blue's on the other side of the world, and he's like, hey, what's the report for today? And that's just kind of where we're at, or like Marine or Taylor, right? It's like, hey, I did this today. Great, cool, got it through, moved it on. Retail, here we come. So, and then Kickstarter's crowdfunding. It's the norm now. We're no longer in the, that like awkward early teen phase when you're like younger. You're like, oh man, I'm just now figuring out how to do this and transitioning, from a kid. We're no longer at that stage with the company anymore. We're finally like considered like a young adult, and we just got our first apartment, and the apartment's going great, and we're talking about now buying a house. So, in metaphorically speaking, with Smunchy Games. Oh hey, Abe, how's it going? Oh, look at that handsome face in this amazing game. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Oh, shoot, I'm late. Oh, is that you, Jake? Hey, Jake! Welcome, and thank you, Abe, for the follow. I appreciate it. So yeah, there's we're finally at that stage where we can say, yeah, go to the store, you'll be able to find the game. And if not, you can buy it through us. We'll make sure that happens, too. And again, just to reiterate on the lag spike thing, for those who did miss it, I'm really excited about this. I actually got to get like the copyright and disclaimer stuff here, but it's already happening. Like, you can already see 17 people are on, like, actively playing, doing things. Call of Duty, Super Auto Pets, I guess is what Marine's playing. That's cool. But this is exciting. So. Tournaments will start shaking up for that too. Again, Smunchy Games is a sponsor. That's why I'm mentioning it. The tabletop into video game crossover is kind of interesting. That's also not to say too that we're not working on other affiliates. So, and y'all know me, I'm very transparent with everything that we do. So right now we are working on affiliates with Razer. And I'm also, I think it's Secret Labs is the chair. So we're trying to work on those to get those affiliate before we can even consider a sponsorship there, because you got to prove your worth, right? So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Abe says, I'm playing, I just hide in offline mode. Brain says, LOL. And, oh, wow, there's so much. Yeah, it's me. Good, it is you. We were just talking about Paths World of Adia, Jake, and, like, all the stuff that's coming down the pike for it, and talking about like Kickstarter versus like having to do like a traditional pre-order. Just kind of depends on what's going to happen. And then retail, how retail's knocking on the door for that. So, but also like the process of how Adia's going to go, how Frey's going to show up in the mix, all of those fun things. Oh, and then of course the big one, the translation to Dnd Fifth Edition. So that's got some folks pumped. I know I'm pumped for sure. Abe says, gotta support the L5GO crew in all their various forms. Winky face. That's right. Agreed. Smunch. Oh. Abe says, Smunch, ping me after. Okay, stream. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd like to hear it. Jake says, yes, I've moved plenty of Secret Lab chairs at work. Oh, good. Okay, then you're familiar. Abe says, I do need a new chair. This one's butt dent int. Oh, isn't comfortable anymore. Yeah. Glad everyone else is pumped. Me too, man. I'm super excited. Yeah, so those are just the announcements. That's why I was like, this might be a long stream. I did write this fun little thing the other night. Fen had something really cool. For those of you who do follow Fennicini, he had this, like, he took a picture, I guess, of like a place he's crashing at, and he's like, yo, like, let's do a 3 sentence story. So I wrote this like 3 sentence story, and I was like, oh man, I really like this. So I wrote, this was the first light I'd seen in the last few years after I had died. It looks like home, but I knew it wasn't. It's usually dark here in eternity, and it's silly to hope this light will last long since I know the Gorders will consume it soon. And I was like, oh god, I just can't not write about this. So I wrote this entire thing. I'm not going to go through all of it, but if y'all are interested, it's gravetitangames.com/eternity. It was completely off the cuff, random, you know, and I even drew some art for it too. So I started talking about this place called Eternity. I made this character named Dean. I drew all this all just last night. So I drew Ghost Drift City, and I actually have another excerpt for Ghost Drift City where, like, you push a button and the entire city folds up into a box because of, like, the tech that they have in Eternity. That's where you go when you die. So go and check that out. I'm not going to read through this. Just, I guess I could if y'all really want me to, but let's see here. Chat is hopping. Holy smokes. Let's see here. Till Smunchy is bright. Mode heathen. Night mode crew. Abe. Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, that's funny because some things I am dark mode on, but some things I'm light mode on. Like, I can't do light mode for it. Anyway, yeah. Jake says, oh, I should jump on that. 5th edition. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay, though. You know, again, I know the stuff happening, so. Abe says, what's funny is your 3 sentences follow mine very well. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I was like looking at all those things, and I was like, huh. This is just like a fun little exercise Fen put together. I was like, what is going on? You're right, though. It does fit it. It's got this, like, monster that's kind of toothy and grin, and I was like, huh, that's sweet. But yeah, I don't know. I put it together, and if people like stuff like this, you know, like, I whipped this up pretty quick, to be honest with you. So please forgive any grammar errors or content editing or anything like that. No, I did not run this through Taylor, which maybe I should have. But like, from the editing side, just to have that extra pair of eyes. But, you know, hey, there you go. This plague sucks, FYI, says Jake. Yes, says Nerdlopedia. No grammar issues on the internet. Not allowed. Not allowed. So, yes, it does. But yeah, I mean, if folks like stuff like this, I'll just do more. I mean, I'll be writing more about this personally, just because I had such fun doing it. I hadn't considered turning this into like a serious, you know, setting to like offer in like printed book or digital form. But if that's something people would like, then maybe we'll see. I would weave it into Project Gnarl. I can tell you that, though. So, internally screams, JK. Right. Sorry. So, okay. So there's that. So that was fun. And then, let's see. Is there anything else on this? We already covered Werekraken. Werekraken! Now Toolth. Go get them. Okay. I think that's it there. Cool. We can kind of move on. So let's talk a little bit about Naltulth, which, surprisingly, Werekraken come back up. This is interesting. Is this... Huh. Oh, okay, because of the comments, right. So I'm actually sharing the document that's in development right now with y'all. This is what's going to go into the physical hardcover book, as well as into the digital book. And we can kind of just show you what we're inserting, what's going on. If you've been following the Kickstarter updates, so there's 8 already. Of course, there's more. So here we talk about like process and updates. I think I got something. Oh yeah, so we're putting in the Crypt Knights, so that was one of the latest updates. And then as an archetype, and then we have the new borders here, so you can kind of see them. Talk about playtesting, development, craft a creature, thank yous. And then the latest update I made was January 17th, which was actually just a couple weeks ago. So this is like fresh stuff. We talk about the Darkspire Votaries and the Candlers. These are backgrounds that you can apply to your character when you are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Marine and Taylor did such a great job with them, so thank you. And I know both of you are in chat right now, so good job. People are super pumped about them. And I also love this lore written by Taylor, the importance of candle making. And if you are interested in learning more about it, you can go to that link, so I'll drop that in Restream as well, just so you can see it. And where is Kickstarter? There we go. So you can kind of go through and read this. It's beautifully written, extremely well done. And then we have some new art that we paired with it so you can see it. So this is the Umbrella Cathedral within Candlehurst, and it kind of shows like the tree, how it's been decorated. You kind of see the Darkspire flames, right? Because Darkspire flames come in like that purple or the teal color. It just depends on which one you're using. So I don't want to spoil that for you. I want you to experience that on your own. And then this one is beautiful as well. This is inside of Umbrella Cathedral, so you can kind of see all the different Darkspire flames and like the candelabras and the chandeliers, and just everything's everywhere, and you can see the big brazier there and all the beautiful things that are happening within the cathedral. And of course this is all about Darkspire and what Darkspire is and how these people pledge and worship that deity. And then you can also see some of the new page layout stuff. So this is me and my design work. I took what our illustrators have done here for these borders, and I've applied it into the book itself. This is more or less what you're going to see. You're going to see this in the book. So you'll see this in the digital format. We'll probably offer both. I think I'm going to copy kind of what Mythiopia did. I'm so impressed with what they did with Wild Sea. If you don't know what Wild Sea is, I strongly urge you to check that out. It's probably one of the coolest settings that I've seen in a long time. Of course, that it wasn't my own, that I feel extremely biased about, but like, man, that setting is so legit. Like, it's just fire in the best way possible. And it's one that I personally want to play. I may even run some things for Wild Sea. So I don't know, if you're interested, let me know. I may pull you in to run and play with me. I don't know if I'll stream it, but yeah, Wild Sea, please go look at that stuff. Anyway, I may pull that and be like, here's your spreads that you can download, or you can download page by page for the digital copy. So, and we'll do that with both the core book for Candlehurst as well as Attack on the Blisterwind Road book. So this just kind of shows you the head page and intro style. Again, all the text here is like a whip. It's work in progress. And then you kind of shows you like the pages that the ancestries and heritages will have, and just kind of how those feats will be laid out in the different levels, and what that'll look like. So this is looking more final. This is what that will end up turning out to be. And you're going to have the snow drifts here. Right, so I really wanted that in the background, and I wanted the ice kind of creeping on the page behind the border here. Jake says we are so close to playing tabletop games again. I hear ya. I'm in the same boat. I want to play more. Because there's too much stuff that's cool that's happening. Just too much cool stuff. Heck, even just some of the other things that I've been like exploring with like sci-fi, and but like not our own stuff either for Smunchy Games, but like other people's stuff. I was like, damn, these people, this is getting good. Y'all are evolving in like the best way possible. So I'm excited. And then of course backer kit. So January conclusion. Here you go. I imagine there's going to be a point where I will be chatting with Taylor about Attack on the Blisterwind Road, and we may even have like a back and forth text dialogue or something that we pop into the Kickstarter updates. So keep an eye out for that too. With that said, there will be more on the way for an Altulth, but that's kind of where the Kickstarter's at. Now here, I wanted to show you, there is a ton of lore written now. Like, so much lore. I mean, there's still more to do, but it's finally in a spot that, and you can kind of see all of our different comments, it's finally in a spot where I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I'm feeling like it finally has much more life than what I had just given it. Like, we even have the Bleak Bone Trading Company, so there's lore in here for that. Sorry to cough in y'all's ear. Jake says it's been a year since our last game. Holy cow, I can't believe it's been that long. Stop. That makes me not only feel old, but also makes me feel like time's moving too fast now. The backgrounds are here. There's like more on Darkspire Undeath. We did move Darkspire Undeath to, you know, Spiritual Undeath. That's great. To feat 0. And that means anyone can take this, which is great. So there was some, like, when we did the playtesting with Penny for a Tale, and they streamed it during our campaign, Kickstarter campaign, it turned out to have a lot of awesome feedback, as well as even from other, like, game designers and other, you know, mechanics and game folks, people who were like, hey, I'm like really into 2nd edition. Let me know, Pathfinder specifically, let me know more about like how I can give you feedback. And I was like, that's so cool. I was so appreciative of that. I know Marine's been asking around as well. Appreciate that as well. And you giving Marine feedback on these things. Everything will help us make it better and more tight-knit. And then, of course, for those of you who do play 5th edition, when that does come down to us and, you know, where it's kind of all getting set up, we'll be doing the same thing. So, Blind Strike Orcs. There is some super sick, awesome, wicked Blind Strike Orc lore that I have not inserted into the book yet, because then I'll have to do a version update. But holy cow, man, I can't wait. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It just makes you want to play one. Like, I mean, gosh dang. Taylor says, I am knee-deep in Ancestry lore right now, so there's plenty of that coming. Yeah, absolutely. Which reminds me, Taylor, what would you say is your favorite lore piece of the Blind Strike Orcs that you'd like to share with anyone in chat? Or with everyone in chat? I'd like to know. I mean, I know my personal favorites, especially with, like, the scarring process, I think is really dang cool. But I don't know. I don't know if you have one, or Marine, if you have one either, because you two have been developing this. You're technically the developers on this, developers and writers. I mean, outside of myself, I guess, but you know, you're doing, you're finishing out that heavy lift for me, so I appreciate that. And I'd love to hear what you have to say. So, Kobold, Gravehand Kobold, we'll have some stuff for that coming up too, as well as Dark Meld Goblin. Oh, and the Grimclaw. Oh yeah, there's some sweet stuff there too, man. Oh goodness. Our kitties of doom, basically, is what they are. And then, of course, I mean, y'all already saw, like, again, Raltor and the Werekraken. I actually need to put that image in our book just so we have it for reference when I'm sharing out like this. But Braille Scar. Oh, okay. So Teddy Berserker says Braille Scar language for sure. Yeah, dude, I just can't believe how cool that is. Like, I mean, Braille's one of those things that, of course, people need to have in everyday life because of accessibility. But it's so cool when you take something like Braille and show it in a form that's also accessible and usable. But, like, in this case, we're applying it to theme. So, like, scarring on an orc, they do read, like, whatever that they say, whatever that message is, because of Blind Strike, right? And, like, they can read on by it's just so cool. I can't even believe how cool that is. And, you know, it's funny because, like, I feel like we kind of took a page. Like, I'm kind of learning a little bit from what Halo Infinite did, which is video game wise, and how they provided those options for accessibility. Like, a lot of, like, the different, you know, arms, the metal arms and the legs, and and all of that, but also even just like their UI stuff and like putting text on a screen or whatever else the case may be, just to help make things easier and better and help those folks that need that. Like even it helps me too. Like heck, I needed to make my crosshairs different and make it larger and also update all my colors and all that. So I loved that. I thought that was great. But like weaving that into lore is even cooler. So, Nerdalopedia, Jake says, "Oh, I have some good series of videos about accessibility in games. I'd love to see them, watch them. Super cool. Thank you. There you go. Nerdalopedia linked it there. Jake linked it. Marine says, I like the braille as well. And the whole world sculpting thing. Yeah, the world sculpting's cool too. That's made me... Yeah, there's something about the Blind Strike orcs that are going to be so dang cool. Just to see and use and play with. Marine says, oh dude, you should check out that one RPG that you can play while blind. Really? That's awesome. Oh man. That's really cool. I love all of that so much. You know, just wow. Yeah. It's an exciting time we live in. Talk about being able to get a bunch of different people from different, like, you know, perspectives playing, right? And that's what makes the adventures, personally, I feel makes the adventures a lot more fun. So, like even heck, our Werekraken here are going to be also very unique in their own different ways. It's like Zork, but also like not, says Marine. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. So the Raltoran, though, if I think we had it in... Let me find it here. It's in one of the past updates. New book borders. Attack, one shot. Oh, new heritage. Here we go. Yeah, Secrets of the Raltoran. So if you are interested in reading about the Raltoran, I know we're going to have this updated a little bit. There's some updates that we did. But you can read about them here on that Kickstarter update. And they are our Werekraken. So human form, Werekraken form. Again, human form is their, like, how they were birthed into existence. Like, let me say that differently. It's the gift they were given by Hugorath. The humans were. But other, like I said, other ancestries and heritages can also become that if they accept that gift. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, so there's that. They're all Tauren. I'm trying to see if there's anything else new we've inserted down here. Darkspire as a deity. Ayanka, the War Scribe. She's going to be really cool. I'm excited for her as well. A lot of new things going on with her soon. Kryptonite. Oh yeah, I remember writing this. I don't know if I shared that with anyone though. That's cool. So we'll have to go through that again. And then, oh, we did rename, we added a name of the Gontantula. So this is an update that I have not put on Kickstarter that I can share with y'all because you're on the stream. This Gontantula is called a Coalheart Gontantula. So Gontantulas, they're going to have other types of Gontantulas, because Gontantula is the species type. But the subspecies of this, and I think I'm saying that correctly, so Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong here, is going to be Coalheart. And later on, we will show other Gontantulas in the near future. So, which is super cool. I can't wait to share those with you. And for the Gontantula... just so y'all have a visual reference. Did I put it on the Kickstarter? Let's see. There's Chirpgower. There it is. So this is, you'll see here, this is Gontantula, but it is now Coalheart Gontantula. So that's this art piece here. Pretty sweet. You can ride them too, which I don't think I put the rider on here. No. I have a little Darkmeld Goblin riding one, which is pretty awesome. There's all of our Darkspire folks. That's cool. And then I think there are going to be... Oh yeah, there are some Trelgwyn updates. So we have a Blighted Trilgwyn, and then we have a Dark Cloak Trilgwyn. And this is because of the Trilgwyn variants and what Blight Shadow does to creatures and people. And this is going to start finally talking a little bit more about like what the Blight does. It's kind of like intense stuff. Definitely, it definitely hits that border of dark fiction where it's like, oh, you mean I'm going to rot and fall apart, and maybe even become skeletal? Yeah, if you're blighted, probably. And will you lose all control of your shell? Yeah, yep. You could. Fuzzy spider mounts sound great. Yeah, absolutely. So there's that, and then I think for the chirp, we have some Chirp Gower variants. Oh yeah, there's a little rider right there. That's a little rider on that Coal Heart. Gontantula. The Chirp Gower, I think, also has a Blighted variant right now. Blighted Undead. Yep. So we're currently going through those mechanics, so those who are interested and would like to give feedback, please let us know. It'll be good to go. So, Gontantula Rider, crafting, Dark Flame Infusion. We've talked a lot about, like, in the past, armor, like all the different blight washing, armored pieces, how they work. Blight Bone, Bang Stick. Is that one new? I don't remember if that's new or not. I'm trying to remember which ones are new to y'all versus not new to me. I think the Bang Stick and the Throwing Barbs are new to y'all. Chirp Gower Throwing Barbs. And then Blight Bombs. The Mortis Salve should be old, and the Elixir. Oh, Wisp Wax. Oh, Wisp Wax. Taylor and Marine, do you want to talk about Wisp Wax in any shape or form? Even just giving, like, any hints on how amazing this is going to be? Tell him about Black Silk. Oh, yep. Is that in here? Do we have that in here for sharing? Do I need to look at another document? I may need to look at another document for the Black Silk stuff. Like Camouflage, Blight Washed. Blight Shadow Shroud. Oh no, here, I think this is it. Is this it? The Blight Shadow Shroud? It can only be crafted using the highest quality of Blight Shadow Bone. No, that's not it. I don't think that's it. Oh no. I think a Blight Shadow spawn designed in their image. It's in our draft stock. Oh, okay. I'll have to go and find that then. Marine says, don't get blighted, kids. It's no fun. It's about 8 months old, but it's new to them. Okay, gotcha. Secrets! Yeah. Okay, cool. Good. Yeah, okay, so Mortis Essence. Yeah, all of this is y'all already know about. Thawberry Toxins, Thawberries, Shiverthorn. If you are new and you don't know about any of this, you should definitely get the pre-order so you can get the book and all those other fun things. Or go back and watch one of the old VODs, or you can even go onto the Kickstarter and read more about that as well. Blight Washed Clothes. Let me look up Black Silk real quick. There we go. Black Silk. Here we go. Oh, yeah, look, you're already highlighting it. Thank you! Ah, I love it. Gontantula Silk, commonly called Black Silk, is infused with deep psychic magic while being formed in their spinnerets. When prey is captured in a Gontantula web, as long as its creator is touching the silk, a psychic connection is established between the captive and captor. Black Silk is actually less adhesive than most spider silk. It's the nightmares induced by the Gontantula that render its victims immobile. Gontantula layers are fraught with danger as horror-inducing psychic tendrils cling to the discarded silk hanging from the walls and boughs of their homes. Fraught. Yeah, with each silk-born psychic link, the Gontantula learns, becoming more and more intelligent. So, going back to our furry folk here, this species, they do become smarter and smarter, and they do, in fact, form a connection because of the black silk with the riders. So we actually, I think we have a name for the riders too, Taylor, if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure we do, though. I'm sure we had a name for them, because I remember us talking about it. And, I think you should be able to, I think you're going to be able to be one as well, at some point. If that's something that interests you as a player. So, Dark Mail, Thread Mail, we talked about that. So I'm kind of going through some of these other things to see if there's anything else new in here. We've clearly done a lot. Let me go back to the backgrounds, though. So I think we did talk about the... Yeah, here we go, the Darkspire Votary. So the Votaries and the Candlers, these are actually super important people in Candlehurst, let alone on Naltulth, because both of them are a part of more or less kind of like the Church of Darkspire, basically. So Votary, you've been taught the ways of Darkspire and the importance of life regardless of its form. Your undying desire for survival and knowledge of the second life has granted you comfort that the first death is only the beginning of your story. So here then it says choose 2 ability boosts. One must be wisdom or dexterity, and one is a free ability boost. You're trained in the survival skill, and now Naltulth lore skill, you gain the Darkspire Undeath General feat, which is this one here, feat 0. So that essentially means you get to become a Votary, you gain your Undeath, your second, life, essentially, second death, survival, and you're undead, is really the way that works. In some cases, and it depends on how you want to play this out with your GM, of course. As everything, it's always going to be up to your GM at the end of the day, and you and how you two have worked together to make the story happen for playing. But you could also have like a transition into becoming undead, or not at all to start. Like, there's so many ways you can go about that. Nerdalopedia says, I love it. Thank you. I'm glad you love it. That's great. Teddy Berserker says, Arachnites. Oh, that's right. Arachnites. Oh, gosh. I can't wait. Marine says this might be spoiler talk. But do I want to make a playable Gauntantula? Not yet. We'll talk about that at a later time. But as far as the Votary goes, that's kind of what the background is. Then there's a Candler. This one is like kind of a big deal to me because it even talks about like the cover of Naltulth. So let me just show you all this. Again, I always talk about this book cover, but as you can kind of see, like you can already see the candle hanging here. You can see a candle here. The candles are freaking everywhere in Naltulth. They matter a lot. And even like transporting these goods, they have to do with the candles. So, your work with the Churches of Candlehurst as a priest of Darkspire, and help perform. You work with the Churches of Candlehurst as a priest of Darkspire and help perform the several rituals and practices of those devoted to Darkspire. This goes back to the importance of candle making. So I may actually go and read you some of that just because now we can kind of dig into this. So choose 2 ability boosts. One must be Wisdom or Charisma, and one is a free ability boost. You've trained in the Survival skill and the Religion lore skill. You also gain the Darkspire and Death General feat, and know the Activate Darkspire Link ritual. So that's pretty cool too. They also have so like these Darkspire priests, these candlers, they have like this kind of like classic, I almost want to call it like a Halloween witch aesthetic, right? Where they have like the black brimmed hats and the I can't mentally describe things and verbally describe things. The pointed like hat can be pointy or it can be like kind of drooping, right? They also have like the cloaks, the black cloaks, and then they have like wands, or they can have huge staffs, things like that. So that's kind of how candlers are. Super cool aesthetic in how this works for the Darkspire piece of it. I'm building. Taylor says, I'm building in Lore-friendly undeath options for every heritage. Good. Nerdalopedia says, I have a soft spot. Spooky magic spiders. Yes. Candlehurst is basically Halloween Town. Yeah, you're not wrong. So, yeah, can't wait till we talk about the pumpkins and mushrooms. Those will be fun too. But more or less, this is kind of what this is, and let's dive into the importance of candle making. So, if you either read it on your own, great. If not, I'm going to read some of it to you now. If I can find it. There it is. Alright, here we go. Okay. The citizens of Candlehurst maintain special reverence for candles. Having made their inky pact with Darkspire, the Nightspear were enlightened, and by their dark knowledge of light, given the wisdom of lamps, a sacred text describing the nature of Darkspire, their pacts, and the tenets of survival, both corporeal and of light in the darkness. Thus Candlehurst was named, and the symbol of the conflagration of votaries became the candle, a word derived from the deific tongue of Draokenai. Votaries, devotees of Darkspire, and members of the conflagration, can almost always be seen with their luminaries, small personal lanterns, usually a windowed cage or box. Typically kept as a reminder of the wisdom of lamps, they are often stylishly etched with prayers or litanies and provide light wherever the votary may go. Luminaries are often attached to a leather thong which hangs from their votary's wrist. Some, however, may be affixed to a belt or even the head of a walking staff. See, so there's like the staff or the, wand, all that stuff. Notably, luminaries are often lit with the Dark Flame, a magical fire unique to Naltulth, and one of the major domains of Darkspire. Heatless and deep purple or bright teal, Dark Flame is the very essence of entropy, decaying that which crosses its veil rather than burning. Dark Flame is incredibly useful in uncovering intangible activity by revealing the unseen spiritual residue left in the wake of magic, as well as creatures rendered naturally or unnaturally invisible, but has a tendency to attract blight shadow creatures in turn. Which is super dangerous, actually, when you think about it, because I'm going to just pause there for a second. You're lighting all these candles, and right now you're at war. Let's say you're in Naltulth for a second. You are at war as a Darkspire votary, or someone who is, like a candler, or you're someone who is even just a temporary citizen because you've come over on some kind of, visa or something from Graven Rock, right? So you're there in Naltulth to, just kind of aid the war effort, and Darkspire is already at war with Blight Shadow. So the Blight Shadow, you're lighting all these candles, and you hear these rumors going around town, and they're like, hey, just so you know, there's sometimes some weird things happen when the candles are lit. You're like, oh yeah? And they're like, yeah. They attract the Blight Shadow, and you're like, frickin' why are we doing that? So, just imagine that for a second, and you're lighting all these candles, right? So let's go back to this one piece. I just want to, let's just talk about that. Oh, there's some danger there, right? There's some danger in the mountains. So here you are now at Umbrella Cathedral, and you're lighting all these candles, and you have candles lit around the trees and everywhere, and you're like, we're just begging for the Blight Shadow to show up at this point. But see, that's the thing. It's so important because Darkspire as a deity requires this. It's a part of their panache, their being. And then, of course, you have this going on, and they're just everywhere. So, Glacial Halloween Town, says Marine. Yes. Teddy Berserker says, I've listened to this more times than I'm comfortable admitting while writing to Naltulth lore. Now I'm going to have to go listen to it. I don't even know what it is because I can't click it, but I want to know what that is. The people of Candlehurst aren't scared of the Blight Shadow, says Marine, and it shows. That's right. So, yeah. So, okay. Let's see, where was I? Veil rather than burning. Okay. But has a tendency to attract Blight Shadow creatures in turn. Unpause. Rather than using beeswax, this is where we talk about wisp wax, the flame of Darkspire is fueled by wisp wax, a plant substance harvested from wisps after they've been rendered solid with magic. With the risk of blight shadow attention and the difficulty of harvesting wisp wax, I'll say that 10 times fast, burning dark flame can be costly but extremely worthwhile for candlers and lay people alike. Candlers are the priests of the conflagration. They maintain the tenets of the wisdom of lamps and preach upon their merits. They provide healing to the sick and aid the weary, providing guidance to the lost and melancholy. Their vestments are of dark robes. Oh yeah, so now we're getting to the aesthetic. Dark robes, accented in fair violet and conical, often spiraling, hoods or wide-brimmed hats. So that's kind of like what I was describing, right? That was elegantly put, way better than I could. So thank you for that, Taylor. From time to time, a candler may be called upon to perform a mission. And such times, they may don their traveling vestments of dark, fur-lined leather, and blight-washed wisp wax plate, which is freaking awesome. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, let me tell you about it. The Umbrella Cathedral is the largest place of worship for members of the conflagration. Votaries travel on pilgrimage from all over Naltulth to see its dark arches, ribbed vaults, flying buttresses, and dramatic stained glass windows. Umberwick may appear dour and gloomy at first glance. At first glance. Oh, I lost it. Why did I do that? At first glance. Where's first glance? First glance. But a closer look within will reveal a litany of candles, candelabras, votives, and chandeliers, dazzling its chambers with an otherworldly glow. Right, which is this. Love it. The nave is, day and night, bathed in a warm violet gleam from the many stained glass windows and luminous flames dancing throughout the sanctuary. Wickers, which is also another type of profession or background, I think in time, lay people of the conflagration make and tend the many candles in use by Umberwick, which are called lumina. They also provide the majority of candles for Candlehurst as a whole, collecting payment for their works, which feeds directly into the High Candler's coffers. In the courtyard before the cathedral rests the Grand Candelabra, a long dead oak, from whose sturdy bone white limbs hang 1,000 luminaries. Which is... we just saw it here. This is it, right there. The Wickers of Umberwick spend each morning and evening ensuring the flames are well tended and replacing the lumina where necessary. During certain holidays, festival days, and the equinoxes and solstices, the Grand Candelabra is outfitted with dark flame lumina, while the feasts and celebrations are held beneath its ivory bows. Pretty damn cool, right? Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't any other thing in chat there. So that is the importance of candle making. This is why it's called Candlehurst. If you haven't, learned that yet, or caught on, I guess. And we even go into more Candlehurst lore and why Candlehurst is the way it is, and all of those fun things about this little town. Town, really, city, yeah. Teddy Berserker says, candlers equal priests, wickers equal lay people, votaries equal simple adherents. Right. Yep. And that's why knowing those types of people are so important, because they're like the bread and butter of Candlehurst. They're the main reason why they're there, except for one other one that I can't tell you about yet because that's in a future book. Twitch's formatting is shite. Yes. I know. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. But what I can do Just make sure. Okay, I think we're still good, right? Let me just double check here. I didn't, like, die, did I, in the thing? No. Okay, good. We're good. Alright. So that's kind of what we got going on there with Candlehurst and Naltulth as a whole. So as you can see, there's a lot more to do. Like, this is, like, not for just Candlehurst. Like, Candlehurst, we're actually, believe it or not, we're pretty close to being finished, lore-wise, and even mechanically. But, like, Naltulth as a whole, so, like, when we go back to the map here, because I actually have a map for this, I made the map. So let me see if I can find that. Is it in here? No? Oh, excuse me. Is it in here? Yeah, okay, here it is. But it's not as big as it could be. This isn't the high-res version, so. But you can kind of see here, so in all of this that you see on the map, we're right here in this little port. We're literally just talking about this one port on this entire continent, and even the larger part of just this one other corner of this continent. So there's a lot to explore and share here, which is very exciting, but also very daunting. So, but we all know that this is what was asked for as well. So a lot of you asked about lore, specifically. One, you know, that's what we're, like, known for here at Smunchy Games and Grave Titan, is lore. That's what we're all about. And settings and IP, like, storytelling, all that, right? Like, we are all about that. So this is pretty vast. As you can see, there's Krentsor, also known as Darkspire territory. There's Torvir, Blight Shadow territory, War Scribe territory, and all of them have cities and towns and places to explore and things to do, and people to meet, more or less, right? And then, of course, you have this side here, which I am not going to give away the name, but we have the Whalebone Strait, the Mournwater Sea, the Gasping Sea. And here we have the Kingdom of Nicebear, so you have Kralik Dune, you have, I can't read this at the moment. Stirpike, that's Stirpike Kingdom. You have the woods here, you have Graven Rock, and a few others as well that I won't go into at the moment. Nerdolopedia says, ice, purple fire, furry horror spiders. Sounds like a great time. Yes, it will be a great time. It's exciting. Also, too, we'll have a rendered version of these black and white borders, like, for other things in the future, too. So I don't know if that matters to anyone, but I think that's it for Candlehurst right now. So let me see if I need to move on to anything else. So that's kind of the big one there. With that said, I would say expect, because right now Maureen and Taylor and myself, all three of us developing this, we are, and at some point I imagine we will do other world building workshops in the future too for this, just because we also enjoy hearing what people like to see in the world, and of course we're going to be inserting our own ideas as the devs, right? And our own creational things there. So, as you can tell from the map, but expect that. Expect that. Probably not right now, but I would say once we get closer to the next set of books, we'll start bringing that up again. So, okay. Candlehurst there is good, unless y'all have any other questions or comments that I can answer or talk about. Let me go back here. I just search for things now because there's just so much stuff in here. Like I just can't. There's so much. I can't sit in one folder. Let's see. You all saw some of the newer artwork, which is cool. I'm trying to remember what else we got, before I go into anything else here. Um, I think that kind of covered it. You know, for Smunchy Games, so I'll talk a little bit about Idea. If y'all have not like read why we're going to 5th edition, you can actually read about that here. That's not saying that, again, we won't have the path system. We're just offering both. So you can kind of see some of like the cool artwork here as well. Love our orc. She's super cool. But I'm also a huge fan of Bon, our Tuskar there. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, so I guess expect to see more on Adia, because probably in the next few months, actually. Like, expect a lot of Parslings and Adia stuff to roll out. I have a lot to share with y'all. So, as you can tell, this was posted October 10th of last year, which technically wasn't that long ago. That was just, what, 3 months ago? Yeah, so in the next coming months, expect me to go deep into this. I'm going to even have so the thing I'm planning on doing, and y'all tell me what you think too, I am going to probably have a lore stream, just like as a refresher for Adia, to catch things up there. But, you know, to consider, like, hey, release is coming, get ready, you know, you're going to be able to be a Tuskar, you'll be able to be that Tuskar that you wanted to be, or that Firecrest Elf, or the Senzai, you know, you'll be able to do all those great things. I love that Tri-Tusk on the cover. Yeah, actually, I had my son, he pointed that out too. Yeah, I mean, all of this will be there. I did update the website as well, so just a little bit. So you'll see some things in here if you haven't already. You'll actually see, if you go to the bestiary, there is some small lore here, and you'll see these are the beasts and the creatures that will be in the book. So you'll see the Yulong, the Jungle Hydra, Lake Hydra, River Hydra, the Govnoth, the Ghost, the Great Griffin, the Direwolf, the Tomaday. These are all going to be in there. And then we have the classes. So these will be in the Path System book for sure. 5th edition has been providing some interesting challenges for us, specifically with the Necromancer. And that's just because Necromancy is so different in Adia. Like, I mean, there's still, you know, I'll just click into Necromancer here. Necromancy is still a thing, obviously, but as you can tell, like, there's two types of Necromancers and two types of Necromancy, and they still connect in one. So there's Abyssal Necromancy, and then there's Eternal Necromancy, and the one you're looking at right now is Eternal. This is an Eternal Necromancer. So we're having to kind of, like, wrap the spirit magic in a different way with 5th edition. And some of we're just having to find some different ways to adapt it. So, Nerdalopedia, Jake says, classes and paths versus 5e is very different, and it is a pain. Yeah, it can be for sure, because it is such a different world, and the way that spirit magic works. So, like, I guess what we can tell you is this: if you want the full experience of Path's World of Adia, you should play on the Path system. But if you are fine with 5th edition and you're like, I just kind of want to know more about the lore in the world, then 5th edition's fine too, you know. So, and that's why we're offering both. But if you, like, really want to dive into the spirit magic system, and you really want to dive into, like, how you can build your own class through paths, and how those paths work, how they synergize, like, you know. So in the path system, you can create a Necromancer, Shaman, Paladin, right? And, like, right out of the gate. And there's a way to, you know, make sure you have the root path set up and how the experience works and all that fun stuff. Now in 5th edition, that'll be obviously very different. So you're kind of limited to the 5th edition system. So again, it just depends on what y'all want to do. Now, when it comes to the lore, though, of course, the lore will be there. You'll get to read that and be a part of the world. And, you know, like, something that a lot of people kind of just automatically assume about Path's World of Adia is that it's like a D&D offshoot. But let me tell you right now, everything in this world is giant. So, one of the smallest people in this world are the coursers, and they would be the coursers and the orcs are the smallest. So our orcs are more human-sized and more human in aesthetic, and then our coursers have Amaran and Protean forms, which I'll actually click on them real quick. Coursers. So here, let me show you. There you go. So, kind of like the Raltoran from Naltulth, the difference is with coursers, they have a canine form. So they have their Amaran form, which would look more human to us in our world, and to them it's Amaran. And then they have their Protean form, which is more of their coarser, Saluki-looking dog form. And all of that said, that kind of just right there shows you where they're at. I lost my train of thought for a second, so it needs to come back. But anyway, overall, this is where Paths is going to kind of shine, and how those transitions work in the lore, and experiencing all of that will show up. Taylor says, back now, welcome back. Jake says, from Nerdolopedia, it's one of the issues we are actually going to run into with future 5e content. Our size categories are numbers and not categories. Oh, right, yeah. So that's actually, that is, now I remember. I was just saying that, and I don't know how I lost that, but they are the smallest. They're one of the smallest people, and they're human size. Like, they're my size. Everything is massive in Adia. Like, the trees alone, so if we go back to, like, the cover, here, in the jungle, that Tuskar that you see is standing 10 feet tall. And the Senzai is closer to us. Much closer. So the Senzai is about 7 foot. That Firecrest Elf is about 7 to 9 feet, and that Jungle Hydra is just massive. That tree alone, like the California Redwoods, so if y'all have ever seen a California Redwood, imagine that, but like, that's a normal tree there. Well, not maps. Don't go to maps. There we go. This is like a normal tree. So as you can kind of see, this person here is just standing next to this redwood, and that's normal. That's a Tundora tree in Adia. So it's basically a land of giants, essentially. And as you're running around, you're going to be like, holy freaking crap. So 5th edition makes that kind of hard, per what Jake was just saying. So Jake says, to give an example of why Paths to 5e is a bit of a challenge. Right. So it's the sizing structure. There's a lot that kind of goes into, like, all of these creatures here. This Yulong is, I don't know, I would say probably the size of like a go-kart. Maybe a little smaller, because of its length. But like this direwolf, you could ride that direwolf pretty easily. Which then makes you look at something like the Ghost or these Hydra and go, OMG Stacy, what? Right. They're massive, massive things. So, and we even have, we haven't even launched the Duanin yet. We haven't launched any of that, and we've been talking about that for years. So the Duanin, they're dragon people. And to give you an idea, they can fight these things, and they'll still be outclassed and outgunned by these creatures, because they're so massive. I guess the only other people that are like in equivalent size would probably be the Uwakun. Well, the Pygmy Uwakun. The rest of the Uwakun, like you can see up here, this is like a Pygmy Uwakun. This is a middling Uwakun. And the middling Uwakun still stands 6 to 8 feet tall. They're massive. A Pygmy Uwakun stands between 4 to 6 feet, which is us. As people. Action economy will be your friend in Paths. Yeah, I believe it. So that's kind of like to give you an idea there. Here you go. So these are all the classes, right? So you have a Marin Courser, Protean Courser, a Senzai, a Paradisian, an Orc, a Protean Courser, a Firecrest Elf, and a Marin Necromancer, and a Tuskar Warrior, right? and like it's weird to think about that in a way. Like, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about the sizes, because it is definitely not like D&D. Like, we have the high fantasy, but in D&D you can be like, okay, cool, I'm going to and by D, you know, I always reference D&D. Maybe I should say like Faerun or Greyhawk, right? So like those more standard worlds and lores that you may be used to. You know, that's very translatable to like human life as we know it, right? Like, here's a tree, I am going to climb it. And you're in a dia and it's like, here's a tree, hopefully I can make it up the trunk. um, right? Or, hello, Tuskar friend, can I stand in your hand? Or, you know, there's a Yunwager, oh my gosh, I can't even think, but like another creature that you can ride that's just so massive, and you're like, cool, this is like a bus. We can fit like 30 of us on here. Yeah, and then we have even larger creatures, which we are calling Titans. And some of them just roam around, and they can't tell who's under them. So if you're sleeping out in the middle of, like, let's say the Tasserdan jungle, they're going to be walking, and you're going to be able to feel the rumble from like miles away. And you better move camp, because if not, you're going to get stepped on, and then just get crushed and die. Oh right, and then Trickix, yeah, oh, God, which is terrifying. So a Trickix in a dia here is like a mimic. They can transform. So like we have tree Trickix, like tree mimics, and I don't even want to think about that at the moment. I hate those things. But you can only imagine with a tree that size that's a mimic, right? And if you enter like a subsection of the forest, or a subsection like of I don't know, let's say you're in Cradenton and you show up and you're like out there in the woods and you're like, oh, I just ran into this subsection of Trickix. Oh crap! You have these like massive, like, you know, trees that are like uprooting, and they're like chasing you, and they could probably fit 5 of you in their mouth. So just, you know. Anyway, yeah. So that's fun. But that's kind of why I'm giving these examples. It's just very different in just size alone. But then you also have like the spirit magic and how spirit magic works and all of those crazy things too. Which there's just going to come a point where I'm just going to have to put the spirit magic system on the website, because it's so in depth that, man, there's just so much you can do with it. Not to mention, okay, yeah, so here's Wallenheide. I'm going to actually be creating a world map, because I did the Naltulth map, and I felt like I did it really well, so I'm going to create a world map for Adia to show you, because this is just one continent. But in the new books that we're going to be releasing, you're getting, like, what, this section right here, Central Wallenheide, at most? Or at least, I should say, because it's, like, right in here is really where the focus is. We're going to be doing Rockdom Nar separately, we'll be doing Cradenton separately, and we're going to be doing Laughing Hill separately, for sure, those 3. Which we actually have art for. Here, let me share this with y'all. Appreciate y'all sticking with me on the stream too. I know it's so much now, like we have so much to talk about nowadays, so some of you are enthralled by it. I appreciate that. But God, there's so much to talk about. Let's see, let me find Cradenton. It's just all under environments now, I think. Yeah. It's just under environments. Here you go. So this is Cradenton. So here's the map. So I can kind of show you this. Where did I put Dropbox? There it is. So Cradenton is this tiny little dot in the upper right, so northeast corner of Wallenheide. This is all Wallenheide, the central region. And it's right here on the border of Afidroka. And this is the town of Cradenton, who is owned by a lord by the name of Lord Holif. Jake says, I'm working on a new article because I haven't written one since October. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Got it. But this is Cradenton. This is the art for it. So, Cradenton, the best way that I can explain it, if you've ever seen John Wick, that's like the whole town. So imagine John Wick, imagine all those things. So they have blood coins as well in Cradenton. They have blood packs. They have the Assassin's Guild here. They have the Gloom Cloaks. They have a bunch of other like assassin things. They have the freaking, what are they called? The Nox. The Nox. My brain's just like dying today. They're essentially like special vendors for secret things that assassins use, which is really cool. But they're in here too. You get to read all about it. Not in the upcoming books, but the ones after. That's how much stuff there is. So there's Cradenton. But then you'll also have Rochdamnar, which is... So you saw the Mage Tower, which is actually on the website. And then we have our actual view of Rochdamnar here. And this is just kind of like a tiny little mage town, which is really cool, but you also have the barracks here for the Fireforge, so you have paladins and all those other classic things that you're kind of like familiar with in high fantasy. The only difference is that mages in Adia are also very different. I mean, they still have magic and all that, but they can actually craft their own spells, and there is something called spirit alchemy, which I don't know if Marine's still around, but I know Marine could talk about that for hours, and just how the spirit alchemy works and what you can do with it. And it's crazy because like the path system, that's kind of why I'm saying like if you want the full experience of the path system, you'll be able to synergize like a spirit alchemist mage with an assassin. Okay, so we just talked about Cradenton, right? So you're gonna have this like alchemy type of, what are they called? Jeez, they like specialize in magic wares and all those other things, and like secret goods and all that. But like as an alchemist, and then that's mixed with like this assassin. So you're running around like that, which is really, really damn cool. Mage is actually, Jake says, oh wait, what? Nobody tells Smunchy about what he missed then. Wait, what? What did I miss? Oh, I saw the Trickix. That's scary. It's all Trickix, all of them. All of them. Oh, I did miss that. That's not okay. No. No. We're not. No. I would never go into a forest again, ever in Adia. I would never go there. That just wouldn't happen. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I live in the plains now, the Asadi Plains. Yeah, I live there. I'm not even a Senzai. I'm a Tuskar at this point. I just live with them. Like, that's just how it's gonna go. No thanks. So, Mage is going to be fun to move into 5e. Yeah, I agree. I think that will be a lot of fun. Marine says Mage is probably going to be the best in 5e. See, Jake gets it. Wizard is one of the easier classes to work with. I think we might as well is its own class. So yeah, again, I'm just sharing all this with you because I know it's been so long since we've talked about any of this stuff. And it's so amazing to see how far we actually have gone with Adia. And now that we're finally at release stage, it's like, it's just the very beginning. It's so crazy. You can see all the orcs here and the different, like, different students. So certain students have different robe colors. If I remember correctly, because it's been so long since I've looked at this, white robe is beginner, blue robe is intermediate, and purple is advanced students. Something like that. And then you have the mage college there, which is that like tower with like the bending arch as well. Scroll down on the image. Oh, is it too big? Because I can't scroll down. Oh, it is big. That's weird. Here, maybe I can... No? Does that zoom help? Yeah, I just realized that. I was like, oh, because I'm looking at the stream now on my phone. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you can't see that. So wait, if I do this... Yeah, because to me, it's a decent size, but... Y'all can't see that. Okay, well, good. So anyway, that's kind of where this is all going, and as you can tell, there's so much more, and it's just like one continent. I mean, we'll be making a dia probably until we die, to be honest with you. Never endless at this point. Maybe it sounds a little intense, but it kind of is. It's true. You can even read some of like a note on spirit magic here. And yes, chickens are still called chickens. Oh, jeez. Remember when we wrote that like many years ago? Yeah. Okay. So, anywhoozin. Let me see. All right. So I covered Adia. I covered Naltulth. And again, Path's World of Adia is going to release. We're going to, again, you can either pledge or pre-order depending on what's going to happen this year. Keep an eye out for that. Parcelings we talked a little bit about. I can't go too much into the parceling stuff right now, only because there are some surprises that we want to share with you when the time comes. So I just can't talk about it too much. What I can tell you, though, is if you go to the Parcelings Twitter, you might catch a glimpse of some newer stuff. And I'm going to be sharing out some new stuff too here soon. So like you can see, this is the new cover for the book, Nominal City Era 1 City Guide. You'll catch some new words in here too. You'll catch some newer art. This little creature here. So that's kind of fun. You'll also catch some new card backs that we're going to be introducing. And some new card fronts that we're going to be introducing. So you can see all like the different words here: perseverance, push, used words, coherency, all that fun stuff. Teddy says, I'm going to head out to have dinner with the wife before another meeting tonight. Sounds good. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Being able to share all the Naltulth stuff with everyone, and soon Paths too. Nerdlopedia, Jake says, here lies Jake. He died the way he lived. Nose in a book, cursing Smunchy for all the ideas he keeps having. So how the tombstone's going to read? That's great. But yeah, so you'll be able to catch some new things on here. I'm trying to see. Some of these are old. Like this is new. This is a new piece, for sure. Brand new piece. Definitely want to pay attention to this one. Oh wow, I didn't see this. Want book, but international shipping is killing me. Yeah, it's true. Although well, there are some international distributors now looking at it, so hey, good news for that person. These are old. That's old. That's the cover. Old. But also going to be card art. This is newer. So this is literally a dude climbing out of his own body. That's old. That's also good, clearly card art. And then you have Chester, which is old. Reconnection successful. Okay, am I back? I think I'm back. Okay, it looks like I'm back. Good. Wow. Whew. Okay. Something happened. I had like an internet disconnect there. Hang on. Let me refresh my stuff here. Because I want to show y'all some of this newer stuff. There we go. Okay. Better. So this is the physical core rulebook, and you can kind of see all the cool things in it. So, super exciting. People are actually getting that. This one is also new. This is a new art piece. What's this? That's the game itself. New card art. This is also new. Well, sort of new. There are some things that you may have seen like this in the book. Card art. That's old, old, old. New. Me. Yeah, so there's going to be some newer other things we're going to be posting. So I don't think all of it's been posted yet. Okay. But, alright, so then there's that, and then the Ghostly Oddities piece. So I'm going to actually just show you that full cover now. And then in the next couple minutes, I'll probably end the stream. Which then I actually need to prep for, give y'all some dates on some other world building stuff we're going to do in the future. Where the heck did I put it? Ah! Dropbox. Yes. Let's go to Grave Titan. Okay. Ghostly Oddities. There's the cover. I'm actually going to redo some of the cover, I think, just a little bit. Let's see where I can find the... Is this it? No. This one? Yeah. So this is... And it's not going to... There we go. Okay. Hopefully you can see it. I know the stream is acting kind of weird. This is the cover for Ghostly Oddities. And then I actually drew... Oh yeah, here's the Ghost Hunters. Okay. Here's the Ghost Hunters. That's so much fun. I did also draw some creatures already for it. And it's a Rose Goblin, I think is what it's called. And where I think we're going to go with this more skeletal version of it. So, this is their butter that's been strapped to their guns. And they're trying to just like drown the thing in butter. So, butter guns. I should not be shocked by this. Oh, Jake says, I would love to climb out of my own body right now. Okay, so it wasn't just me. Oh yeah, the stream issue. I did get to lay my hands on the physical copy. Good. Oh, Micah has it. Okay, awesome. That's great. Butter guns. I should not be shocked by this. Yeah. I know, right? It's great. And then I think I need to pull up the OneDrive and I can show y'all some of the things there that I've been drawing. So, ugh. And it's all kind of like coming together, right? So like the Wither End stuff that I'm doing, all of the like Enarl stuff, all of this stuff, the Storyteller, the Grave Titan, all of that is in the same place. Let's see here. There's a lot of artwork. I drew this recently. This was fun. But that's not what I wanted to show you. Wither Ends is in here. There's so much, like, see, it just takes so long to, like, get things up and running now. Like, even just to show you all this. Like, I have to, whenever I start the stream, I have to actually prep about an hour ahead of time and pull all of the tabs up. Because there's just so much stuff to do and to just go through. Oh yeah, here's one of the creatures. So this is the tortellini and cheese that you just saw them fighting, which is here. Here, wait, let me move this over here. So here you go. Here's your ghost hunters. And this is the tortellini and cheese that they're trying to hunt down and fight. Because it's angry, and actually a credit goes to Marine on this one. Because oh, that's way too big. We'll just leave it at that. Because Marine is the one who came up with just this reason, but it's tortellini and cheese because it wanted to be macaroni and cheese, but the Gloomlands didn't use the right noodle. So now it's tortellini and cheese, and it got angry, and then it became possessed by the ghost creature, and now it's that. It's so ridiculous. So that's one of the creatures I had drawn that, and then I also drew... I'm going to put in a bunny. So the bunny's going to be interesting. It's exactly what you think it is, whatever that may be. So the bunny, and then I'm probably going to put this creature in. I've called it like a craster. I don't know. It's very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Translucent? It's translucent? Yeah, something like that. Poor ghost, says Marine. I love the bunny. Yeah, good. So yeah, this creature's going in, and then we have... Oh yeah, I've been doing actual comic work too. I don't think y'all can see this, but I don't know how to make it. Yeah, it won't let me... Ooh, that's weird. Maybe if I do this, maybe y'all can see it better. So this is like a couple of people just sitting on top of this like ghostly giant. You know, it's like, OMG, I found them. You lost something? Yeah, my marbles. But this is like actually like a soulstone pit here. And this gloom giant, or what did I call him? The gloom giant? I don't know what I called it, but it's this ghostly giant is essentially walking around collecting souls for the soulstones. Soulstone pit. Translucent spider nautilus. Yep, there you go. I made some items. So there's some magic items that we'll probably see in Ghostly Oddities as well. You can kind of see like this wither end mask. Kind of got some coin. You got a soul stone here. All the different souls in it, and then you have this elixir, another wither end mask. This is supposed to be a foot comb. Yeah, like I said, this is ridiculous. That's a foot comb, specifically for wither ends because they have to comb their feet because they have a lot of like dangly wisp things on them. And then here you have one of the crystals, which I unfortunately forgot what I named that as. And then you have other creatures like this thing here, which I haven't even named yet, but I have this like wither end fighting it. So that's going to be available. Oh, hang on. I think my wife's messaging me. And then that's the Wither End dungeon cover. So kind of you can like see like the dungeon is coming alive and already doing weird things. Oh, and then there's there's this lady. So what I'm gonna do with her, she's kind of a Wither End as well, but you can kind of see like the Gloomlin and the Storyteller mixed in. But essentially, she has these creatures that she's holding. And it's like this snake scorpion flower thing that breathes fire. She's a gardener, and she has other like little creatures that like to live inside of her hood thing, cloak. And anyway, she's big into gardening, and she's older, an older woman. And but anyway, I'm gonna do this piece where it's like she's like kind of like in this action set, and then this big vine-looking snake flower fire-breathing thing is behind her. I can't wait. It's gonna be such a fun piece. So there's like, I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of crazy things. Oh yeah, here's a spider knight. This will be going into. I personally love the Blade. It's one of my favorites. And then, oh yeah, this is the Storyteller summoning a ghost. This is going to be going into Ghostly Oddities. There's Ghostly Oddities in the Orb. Here's a dungeon for Witherend. So, like, I've actually done a lot of work on this. You know, kind of just going through this. Oh, geez. So, this is funny, too, because I first showed this to the kids, and I wanted their take. Is that the final one? I think, yeah, that's the final one. So, no, it's not. That's not the final one. There's the final one. It's over here. Okay, yeah. This is far more colored. I wanted their take, and my kids loved it. And I was like, okay. And they're like, okay, we're going to name the monster Spaghetti. Okay, and I was like, okay. And the little creatures in his mouth are meatballs. So this is spaghetti and meatballs. Of course. Treebeard's gnarled toe hair. Ew! But that's great! Ew. Here's a village. Little Witherend village. They're mining on the Shy Gloob here. But yeah, as you can see, this entire world is just going to be crazy and nuts. And then I plan to weave in kind of some of the... oh, that's just the Witherend stuff. I haven't even gotten to the Storyteller yet. My artwork. Let me see, is it in here? There's so much in here. Scary but cute. Oh yeah. Scary but cute. Bob, what did you do? Perfect. Gosh dang it. No, this isn't what the folder I needed though. Art. I may just have to look up Storyteller. Storyteller. Here we go. Okay. So, there's a cover. So that's the Storyteller. This next one is probably my favorite piece I think I've ever done though. Is this piece. It is like, it's one of those pieces that when you would like open up like those old highlight magazines or books as a kid, or I don't know, anything like that, you know, as a kid you're just like looking at all the different things that are going on. And I love the fact that the Storyteller is looking at this tabletop RPG book, which makes it even better. And you have all these little Gloomlins are just doing the craziest things in this picture. So, like, you know, math rocks, pass skill checks, and they're like reading this, you know, the Storyteller's like, oh, okay. But then you actually have the spell Fireball in here. So this is like a homage to that. And you have the Gloomlin literally roasting a marshmallow on the page Fireball. And then here you got this little dude climbing the wall. You have so many different books in here. You know, you have my signature, ducks. I don't even know why it says ducks. Skull Rocks. Skull Rocks? Is that what that says? Ducks, game design, the love signs, 21 ways to what? Sniff? Oh my lord. It's been so long since I've read this. Creatures and Curiosities, A Secret World, How to Wear Pants. Oh god, and then you have this little guy up here, Gloomlin. He's like using himself as like an experiment. He's like, experiment number 1, and he's about to jump into this pool of this like random goo. Oh gosh, and then you got, of course, they love chickens. They ride chickens, so yeehaw, right? And then you have these two Gloomlins. One's like struggling because they're like trying to get up, and they're trying to get the butter. You know, so then this is a homage to the one you just saw of the ghost hunters. But then the best part is the dude that's always pointing at things that are going terribly, terribly wrong. And so as they're going through this tabletop book, see, that's kind of the thing about this world, is the things that aren't real can sometimes become real, especially if you make them real. So what do I mean by that? Well, in our RPG world, right? Whenever you go into like this world and you're playing a tabletop RPG, you're role playing, right? But to them, it's kind of dangerous because you could actually summon it for real. It could actually become a real thing. Like, oh, sorry, Jack, you turned into a Leshy, and now they're actually a Leshy. Sometimes you misroll a skill check. Oops. So in this one, the storyteller is the one who's telling the story, and about all these things we see, like the storyteller's telling the Eternity story. This one that I wrote. This is the story they're telling, and now it's becoming real to them. They're telling the Witherend story. That's becoming real. They're telling the Everybody Needs a Rocket Launcher story. That's becoming real to them. Right? All of these things are becoming real. So in this last piece, it's the little dude pointing at the Gloomlin that just so happened to turn into a bloodthirsty werewolf and climb out the window and like howl at the moon. And he's like, Anyway, it's great. This is definitely my favorite piece, though. I think out of everything I've done, this is my favorite. Neuropedia, How to Wear Pants, a book I will never read. Exactly! Why would you ever need to wear that? Or wear that? Read that. Wear them and read it. Marine says, in the next image, you should put in How to Wear Pants, Volume 2. Oh my god. Oh god. We're just gonna have to make that, just so y'all know. That needs more than one book to explain. I mean, it's hard, right? Like, wearing pants... I mean, heck, it's like, 30 degrees out, and I'm still wearing shorts. So, pants are hard. It's a hard thing. Even the storyteller doesn't wear pants. The storyteller wears robes. Like, skirts sometimes and other things like that. It's not something they want to wear pants. I mean, who wants to wear pants? Anyway, so these are all the things you will see in Ghostly Oddities and like future strange things. Oh yeah, this is another good one. This was my very first concept of the storyteller and the Gloomlins. So like, this is the book. This is the Book of Nope. So that's yeah. I don't know if I actually got that across here. Let me find it. So the Book of Nope is what the storyteller tells stories from. So like here, the storyteller is telling the story as we're in it, and it's summoned for real. And this creature is now climbing through the ceiling because the inky portal thing opened up. And there he is again pointing, but the Book of Nope. And maybe you know what? Maybe that's what I just titled the project. It's called the Book of Nope. I don't know. What do y'all think of that? Because the Book of Nope, like, that's everything that I draw is in there. Why do you think wizards wear robes, says Jake? Yeah. Because pants get in the way of magic. They're magic... They're magic, repellent? That's great. Pants are magic repellent. You should not be wearing pants, alright? Wow. Wow. Marine, How to Wear Pants, Volume 2, Why You Shouldn't. I like it too, though, Marine. I think the Book of Nope is a very fitting thing. And maybe that's what this cover goes to. It just goes to the Book of Nope. Grave Titan, like... It just makes sense, because, like, you have the Grave Titan world in there, you have, like, the Witherend world, you have all of this, and it's just like, how does this even happen? How does this belong? And I think that's one thing, while I enjoy world building, and I love world building so much, and I do love that serious side of it, so don't get me wrong when I say this, but I think sometimes we often mistake our fun for the serious. And when you go to your friend's house, or you're playing with your friends online, and you're about to jump into a game with them to do some tabletop RPG, there are things that just happen, and you're like, WTF, mate? And then there are other things that happen where, like, you're off in some other random world because, like, the one shot ended, right? And it's like, well, how the heck do I connect these worlds? Like, could I ever? Probably not. But in this one, you could. So it's like, I'm approaching it from the storyteller is legitimately a dungeon master. That's just like what they do, but like they're magical. So they're embodying the true personification of a dungeon master, of what a dungeon master wishes they could do in real life. So, um, yeah. Jake says, I just like druids in older editions of D&D and couldn't use metal. Oh, okay. I can see that. Marine, that's still a thing in 5e. It's just frowned upon instead of it hurting you. Oh, y'all are talking about D&D stuff. I have some things in my world that I can't explain, all because of my players. Exactly. Are you saying DMs aren't magic normally? Oh, man. But see, I never like thought about that, because like you are magical, but in the word of sense of imagination, and the feeling invoked is real. However, I guess what I was trying to say is that it's not that you're not magical, it's that you could be physically magical as the storyteller. Which, who knows? Maybe if you continue, these things really will just pop through a portal in your room. I don't know. All words are magic because when someone reads them, the author puts images into the reader's head. Absolutely true. Yep. That's right. You know, staring at dead trees and hallucinating for hours is amazing. It's my favorite pastime. That's revenge on the Tundora trees and those Trickix, though. That's why we make them into books. Oh my gosh, dude, we should put that in a dia. We don't like Trickix, so we make them into books. Read this. Gosh. Just like knowing we're all wet skeletons waiting to hatch. Oh. God. Oh. I don't like how true that is. I don't know how to feel about that. Alright. I love it, though. You're welcome for that mental image. Thank you. I will hatch soon. Not too soon, though. Alright, folks. I'm going to end the stream there, because I've been going for at least a couple hours now. And, like, I can feel myself mentally dying. So I hope you enjoy all these crazy fun things we're doing. Again, let me know, you know, like, is this, you know, is something like Eternity, is this kind of like a fun thing for you? Is the storyteller great? You know, how do you feel about Adia? How do you feel about Naltulth? You know, what are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to? I don't know. Don't you dare hatch, skeleton! I appreciate that. That's like a new way of saying don't die. Don't you dare hatch. Okay. But anyway, thank you all for your time. I will end up streaming again soon, but with some like world building things. I think the first things I'll be streaming with world building stuff is going to be some of this crazier, more fun stuff, like funny, I guess I should say, zany stuff. So you may see me. Oh wait, I didn't show you this one thing though. Dang it, that's the one thing I was actually trying to show you. Goblin. Goblin? No, that's a dark meld goblin. Goblin? Rose. No. These are all my books and stuff. You get to see what I play. Rose Goblin. Did it just not sync? Maybe it didn't sync. I'll have to find it for y'all. I'll show it to you another time. So, but anyway, I really do appreciate y'all being here. She says I'm not looking forward to write more classes. Yeah, I can see that. For sure. There's a lot. But yeah, anyway, again, yeah, so we will be doing some more fun, random things like this as such. So world building wise, expect that, and probably expect that in the next couple weeks because I'll be ready. And you know what? I'm just gonna say this too. If y'all do have like random quirky ideas, just send them to me. Send them to me on Twitter. You can send them to me at Smunchy Games on Twitter. You can send them to me at the Smunchy on Twitter because I'm here too. So I get to see all of those that you send me. Send them to me via email. Send them to me via Discord. You should join our Discord, which is actually below right now on the Twitch side. You know, if you don't even like want to join any of those, and you're like, hey, I just want to join the gaming org that y'all are doing for fun and awesome things like video games, join the Discord on Lag Spike and send me those things there. Or just randomly message me on Facebook, wherever. You could be like, hey, have you ever thought about this funny thing? And I will find a way to draw it, just because that's the type of person I am. So, any hoosin'. Yeah. Again, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for the time, and more updates soon. And probably expect another Naltulf update, probably at closer to the like February 17th or later. Definitely before mid-March though. So because I know this is the current hot Kickstarter right now of ours, and Parslings will be next. So, all right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for coming, and I will see you next time. Bye for now, and don't worry about the pants. We got books for those. That's right. We'll make it. Bye.